So imagine being the target of a massive coordinated slander campaign led by the most powerful executives in your industry.
Oh, yeah. Your first instinct is probably to just retaliate, issue some furious statement, and, fight fire with fire.
Right, exactly. But today's deep dive looks at a text that prescribes a totally counterintuitive strategy for distress management. We're unpacking an ancient text, Psalm 4, specifically the English Standard Version.
Yeah, and our mission here is to kind of reverse engineer its progression from, panicked anxiety to profound peace.
And we're looking at this impartially, right, just as a historical and literary text.
Exactly. And looking at it that way, it actually opens with what are basically stage directions. It says, to the choir master, with stringed instruments, a psalm of David.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So right away, we know this is meant to be a public, rhythmic processing of a deeply personal crisis.
Right, and the speaker starts off by frantically pleading for relief, basically reminding God of past track record of rescue, like, you have given me relief when I was in distress.
But they don't stay in that pleading mode for long. Verse 2 pivots really quickly to confront the attackers directly.
Yeah, and a footnote reveals these aren't just random critics. They are, quote, men of rank.
Right, high-status individuals.
So, powerful people who are actively turning his honor into shame and loving, vain words and lies. It's so relatable, like dealing with high-level workplace politics or public slander today.
Oh, definitely.
Usually, when your reputation is being dismantled by high-status individuals, you want to launch a full-scale counterattack. I mean, I'd expect the speaker to call down an army here.
That is the logical expectation. You want to defend your honor, but instead, the text introduces this fascinating psychological mechanism. It's a forced physical pause.
Right, the Salah.
Yes, right in the middle of this confrontation, the text drops in the untranslated word Selah. It's essentially a musical or liturgical break. And right after that pause, the instruction is incredibly jarring.
Yeah, it says, be angry and do not sin. Ponder in your own hearts on your beds and be silent.
Which is such a striking instruction.
Wait, so, I'm struggling with the disconnect there. A footnote notes that angry can also be translated as agitated.
Right.
So wait, is the text actually giving permission to be angry or agitated as long as it doesn't lead to acting out?
Yes, exactly. And that's the brilliance of it. It acknowledges the absolute reality of the raw feeling. You are allowed to be agitated.
Wow. But then it demands private reflection.
Right. By forcing you onto your bed in silence, it deliberately interrupts that fight or flight response. From a modern neurological perspective, when you're publicly slandered, your amygdala just screams at you to act immediately. But lying down in the dark removes those external stimuli, stopping that neurological chain reaction before it becomes a reactive, destructive outburst.
It's almost like pulling the emergency brake on a speeding train.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
The momentum of the anger is still there. The sparks are flying. But that physical pause, that Selah, is the friction that forces the mind to a halt before it completely derails.
But that physical isolation creates an entirely new challenge, right? When you strip away the external noise of those men of rank and you are just alone in the dark, what are you left with?
Yeah, how do you measure your security when your public reputation is completely in shreds?
Exactly. And verse 6 addresses that head on by asking, who will show us some good? The answer it gives isn't material wealth.
Right. Verse 7 declares that God puts more joy in the heart than when, quote, grain and wine abound.
The ancient markers of ultimate wealth and success.
Which today would be like having a massive overflowing bank account, right? He is actively prioritizing an internal sense of joy over external riches.
Right. He is realizing that if his peace is tied to his public honor or his stores of grain, it can always be taken away by high-status enemies.
Makes sense.
By grounding his joy internally, he creates an emotional fortress that those elites just cannot touch. And the ultimate proof of this lands in the very last lines of the text, verse 8.
Oh, where he declares, in peace I will both lie down and sleep, for you alone make me dwell in safety.
Yes. Exactly. He is completely insulated from external chaos.
It's amazing. Look at the sheer distance covered in this short text. We started with a desperate, panicked cry against slanderous men of rank, moved through the friction of the Selah pause.
Yep. Lying, agitated but silent on a bed.
Yeah, physically stopping the urge to retaliate. And we end up completely insulated from the chaos, enjoying a restful sleep fueled by internal joy rather than external abundance.
It really is a masterclass in emotional regulation that holds up thousands of years later.
Absolutely, which leaves you with something entirely different to consider today. In our hyper-connected world of instant reactions, where can you build your own Salem moments before responding to the chaos around you?
That's a great question.
And if an ancient king recognized that his truest security came only after he stopped fiercely defending his honor, what modern ambitions or arguments might you need to completely give up today in order to finally get a good night's sleep?